Hello and welcome everybody to Season 16 of the Trinity Competitive Racing. As tonight, the drivers of the Golden class will take on the virtual Losail International Circuit for the Qatar Grand Prix. My name is Logan and I am joined here tonight with my co-commentator Tim. How are we doing tonight, Tim?
Doing well, doing well. Just out on the track right now, we have J&B. Looks like he is currently on a fast lap. We've got him coming in right now, setting his first lap. Currently in first place, we have KD 1997 with a 121.1. Looks like J&B's on a somewhat of an alternate strategy right now compared to the rest of the field, maybe potentially wanting to be in more of a clear air situation out there. And looks like he decided to not complete that lap, potentially maybe invalidated on that lap and decided to come into the pits rather than completing it.
So yeah, so far it is just over 10 minutes left in the qualifying. KD out in front in the Williams. We have Carson on track in third right now. It looks like he is done with his lap there. He's in third. He's taking it to the pit lane. We got a lot of drivers taking their out laps here, getting ready to, or warming up the tires and getting ready to get their qualifying session underway here.
You're absolutely right about that. It looks like we have FFR Raikkonen coming out on a flyer. Looks like he has not currently set a personal best. Looks like he's coming into turn one right now. Very clean. Coming into turn four right now. He has a little bit of traffic ahead of him, but it looks like they're going to get nicely out of his way here. So he has leaving a little bit of margin there. Very nicely done, exiting out of turn six there.
So everybody getting their first laps of season 16 in this qualifying session. First race jitters, I bet, is coming through everybody's veins, coursing through their blood. What could we see tonight with the dust or the rust and whatnot for these drivers?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, especially coming into a new season here, and it looks like FFR Raikkonen did invalidate his lap there and decides to take it to the pits, especially with what we're seeing as high turnover in the gold class, with a lot of new drivers coming out from silver moving up, and some of the old drivers from gold moving up into platinum. Could we see a shakeup in the gold category? Additionally, we have a lot of returning drivers to the series. I'm currently on board with El Capitan, currently on a 122.5. I'd like to see what he can set here, as it looks like he is about to begin a hot lap.
Yep, coming on to the front stretch there out of the last corner. Right now, slotted P11. That 122.5 there. We have a caution in sector 2. Looks like a couple cars got together there. But it looks like they've squared away and it's all cleared up. The Capitan's off and running through sector 1 there.
Yeah, it looks like he's nicely about to enter into turn 4 here. Let's see. It looks like he got that hooked up quite nicely. Looks like he got turn 5 done nicely, as well as he enter into turn 6, one of the only slow speed corners on the track, although it is still difficult to overtake into that corner. Let's see how he does there. It looks like his car is handling very nicely here.
It's always awesome to see these cars, how much they grip into the track, and just the lines that they take and how aggressive these drivers are.
Yeah, especially around Qatar. It is a very interesting track that F1 has brought back onto the calendar. A very popular track, especially in MotoGP circles. Difficult track to overtake on, nonetheless very impressive to see these Formula One cars drive around. And El Capitan is able to set a 1:22.3, brings him up to P11.
So right back where he was before. Actually just went down again. I think that was JMB possibly that went up to second on the slot there on the order. Just a little bit behind KD right now.
And a very impressive time there set by JMB. As we have FFR Raikkonen about to set a lap. Currently does not have a lap on the board. Potential issue that we are seeing with Qatar Losail circuit is the off-track violations. We did see that yesterday in the silver race. It is very easy to get off-track violations at this circuit, very easy to invalidate your qualifying laps, and then we also will see in the race, I believe, 3-second, 6-second, 9-second violations, and those may come into play as far as where people will place in this race.
Yeah, and it came down last night in the silver class. We had that finish where we did not know who won that race until, after the fourth place driver finished the race.
Exactly.
We go on board with the Haas driver of FFR Raikkonen as he comes onto the front stretch here for his first lap of qualifying. We'll see what he runs.
Yeah, DRS open here. He's got a little bit of battery left. Deploy fully used as he sets a 1:21.593 and comes up to P5. A very nice time there on the board.
As we run late in this qualifying session, under 5 minutes, got a lot of guys on the pit lane, maybe trying to get their cars ready to go for maybe one more lap.
Yeah, currently out on track, we have Carson C in P10, currently on an out lap. We've got Camden Luca currently on an out lap. He sits in P16. And he has activated his ERS. Looks like he's getting ready to wind up here for a hot lap, and I am currently sitting on board with Camden Luca. Let's see how he goes here. And he's got his DRS fully activated as he gets set for an entry into turn 1. A little bit understeer on the entry, but it looks pretty good. It's set into turn 2 and 3. He gets very deep on the brakes there into turn 4, turn 5, and here we go into turn 6, that slow speed corner. And here we come now into the very high-speed corners of turns 12, 13, and 14, where he's easy flat into 12, 13, and let's see if he lifts here for 14. A little lift there into 14, and a slight lift there into 15. As he comes around the final turn, and let's see what time he sets here. And he does not improve on his time of a 1:22.9.
So he will sit P16 of 16 of the 16 drivers that are in attendance tonight, as we have a ton of guys on their outlap as we reach the 2-minute mark of this qualifying session.
I think that speaks to the depth of this this field. We know that Camden Luca is a very talented driver, and I'm sure he will bounce back from that.
Oh, for sure. And I was talking with him in the paddock earlier before the race, and he was saying that he would be well impressed with a midfield finish. Was not expecting for any high place finishes. He was just going to be happy with a midfield result tonight.
And as we know, it is a long race out there, 29 laps, and a lot could happen out there. So we shall see.
So we're on board with Pilot here. The Alfa Romeo. He's warming up them tires, coming to the final turn. Right now slotted P8. Could he improve on that 121.6?
Now, KD is the first driver in the 120s there with a 120.89. Very impressive time set by KD there up in P1. A little bit of note, seems like a little bit of a change between F122 and F123 as far as outlap warm-up. In F122, it seemed like the go-to strategy for warming up the tires was to weave in order to warm up the tires, whereas in F123 it seems like a lot of guys are opting to run up the brake bias as far as it'll go to 70% and ride the brakes in order to warm up the tires, using the residual heat from the brakes to warm up the tires. As I see, I'm on board with Pilot. He has a little bit of a snap oversteer moment there that maybe cost him a little bit of time there. And it looks like he has backed out of his lap, maybe resigned himself to not improving there.
So as we've hit the 000s, we watch Pilot go down to the pits. As we look to see everybody else that come to that front line. Pilot down. We got Giggle there. He's coming around in the sector 3 there. Right now P15 trying to improve on that 122.7 in the Ferrari. He's coming to the final turn here. Out onto the front stretch. Can he run better than that 122.7? Going across the stripe, and it will be 122.4, but he will not improve his position. It looks like we are running down to the last couple cars on track.
Currently on board with Carson here. Does he improve on his 121.64? And he does. He goes 121.4 up to P5. That's a solid lap from him. And it looks like Godzilla ran out of fuel, so he will not be improving.
Well, that looks like that will be it. And what a qualifying session that was.
Yeah, very interesting qualifying session there. It looks like we have an idea of who has pace. Another thing of note is how close the grid is here. If you're looking at from P2 and down, if you're looking at half a second from P2 to really P11, 9 places separated by half a second. I see that's, to me, a fairly close grid. And who knows, race pace could see the grid be even closer as far as who has the race pace.
One thing of note, no formation lap tonight, so we will be getting it right underway right soon here. We hope everybody is enjoying in the chat. Leave a comment. Hope y'all are doing good tonight. We're about ready to get round 1 of season 16 in the Golden class underway here.
Zionical Sorry, I didn't see your comment there. Yeah, quali did start. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if maybe you did post that comment at the end of quali there, but yes, it did. I'm sorry, I can't actually see the comments.
Looks like we have a Rafa fan in the chat tonight. And like C3 said, impressed with JMB on his qualifying efforts here tonight after getting promoted from the silver class.
Yes, absolutely. For JMB to get promoted from silver class to gold and to do so well in his first gold qualifying session definitely says something about how talented of a driver he is. So definitely impressed there. That's not to say that the drivers at the bottom of the grid don't have pace, because some of them definitely do have pace. I just don't think they were able to show what they really have in the bag. I think in the race, we will definitely see some surprises coming from the back of the grid.
That for sure.
Or maybe I'll be proven wrong.
As we get gridded up here, we are
Zionical. That's good to hear. Sorry, I missed your comment.
We are underway.
And here we go. It's green, and we are live.
KD's going to lead the field down into turn 1.
And around the outside, KD on the hard. Goes around the outside of Godzilla, GTR Lion, and a little bit of damage in the back. Unsure of who sustained damage.
A couple cars around. Raikkonen's around. Rafa's around. Looked like Pilot was also around there.
And caution to Sector 1. Looks like we have a green flag as KD is able to clear the field. Looks like we have 4 cars able to clear the rest of the field as we have a Williams going wide.
It looked like it was Carson there. Carson went wide off that turn. He's right now running 9th as he runs outside of Raiden.
KD able to create a half-second gap to Godzilla, who sits P2 currently. J&B in 3rd, followed closely by Remsley, sitting P4 in the Alpine.
Caution back there in Sector 2. It looks like it is cleared back up as they clear their mess up back there as they sort their ways out. But up front, KD leading that pack of 4 or 5 cars away from the field as they head onto the front stretch for the first time. It looks like KD will lead lap 1.
Potentially an incident further back as we see FFR Raikkonen with a significant gap, 2.6 second gap towards the back. And we see 2 drivers pit, Carson as well as Pilot in the pits. Potential damage they may have suffered on that first lap there.
So a chaotic first lap back there in the back part of the field as KD has increased his lead out to almost a 1.5 seconds.
And further back in the field, we actually see the 2 McLarens battling each other. Both of them on the mediums. That's Segrist and Ben Swerven. Ben Swerven with a 1/4 second gap on his teammate there, Segrist.
I mean, who doesn't love that name, Swerven? Man, I love it. That might be my favorite right there. Driver favorite right there.
That is a catchy name, Ben Swerven. As long as he's not swerving in the race.
We will have to see as he has his McLaren right behind his teammate of Segrist in 7th place right now. As they run.
Sorry, didn't mean to talk over you there, but key for the strategy, KD 1997 has broken the DRS from Godzilla GTR Lion, and JMB 8 was able to pass Godzilla GTR Lion here. So potentially KD running away with this race early on.
DRS enabled now for all the drivers as we have a battle for second. Second. Remsley right in front of JMB right now in that Alpine.
Looks like currently Remsley sitting on about 50% ERS, with JNB slightly higher on the ERS. both of them on the medium tire, so it will be interesting to see how that plays out. Godzilla in P4, about 70% on the ERS, though, although he is on the hard. If he can maintain his DRS on the two in front of him, it will be interesting to see what lap he pits on and also what tire he pits on. If he could go long and potentially pit onto the soft tire towards the end of the race, he may be a favorite to get into one of these podium positions there.
That for sure. And we did see a 5-second time penalty already given out to Pilot back there. He was speeding in the pits, so the first of many, and it wasn't even a track limit penalty there.
That is unfortunate for Pilot to be awarded that 5-second penalty there for speeding in the pit lane there. So his race does go from bad to worse, from suffering potential damage on the first lap to now being awarded that 5-second penalty.
Go back to 10th and look at the Mercedes of Rafa coming back after the first lap incident. He is holding off both Giggle and Capitan right now as they make contact back there. That's Giggle and Capitan as they sort it out. It looks like Capitan's going to take back, and now look at Giggle. He's going to go back around on the outside.
And it looks like you having a Giggle goes right up the inside of El Capitan there. It looked like they had a little bit of a wheel-to-wheel battle with a little bit of contact there as you having a Giggle went right up the inside of Capitan going up into turn 6, and now they do have a little bit of separation there with you having a Giggle eking out a 0.7-second gap. We'll see how this battle develops in the upcoming laps. Unsure if either of them sustained any damage.
KD increases his lead by almost or over 2 seconds now. The gap is still very close here, and look to the inside. That's JMB making a move for second with that DRS on the front stretch.
Nice move by JMB there to use the DRS and pass Remsley. Remsley a little bit lower on the battery than JMB. Be curious to see what will happen here, as we only are 5 laps into the race. I'm curious to see if one of them will just decide to start saving the battery, or if both of them will just keep going until they have no battery left.
We go on board with Remsley here, running right behind JMB. Look at the battery there, 35%. As he weaves his way and almost runs into the back.
Yeah, near collision there avoided. Interestingly enough, Godzilla seems to have opted to save his battery, and that may be the reason why he has lost contact with the two in front of him.
Godzilla slips back to almost a second back behind his teammate of Remsley there in the Alpine. As we've had everybody sort their ways out here, just about 5 laps in of this 29 lap race.
As we see Remsley now pass J and B for second place.
Remsley back out into second, but look at J and B, he's not going down without a fight.
No, as we see J and B within 0.2 of Remsley.
He had the overtake option on there. Looks like he thought better of it. It's going to save. Go further back in the field. We look at the guys that did have issues early on there. Raikkonen back in 13th. Looks like he got around his teammate Camden Luca. Both Haas drivers there. Carson back there in 15th, and Pilot still struggling so far just to get back underway here.
Yeah, it looks like Pilot is back there in significant clear air. If there is a safety car, though, Pilot could be back in this race.
But as the field heads onto the front stretch, they're all jumbled up, and we got a pass again. Second place, and that looks like JMB once again using the DRS and makes the move on the inside, and it looks like they're just flip-flopping positions here for second.
It looks like the battle for second seems to flip-flop every lap as far as who is taking that position. I am curious to see what Godzilla chooses to do here, as he does have a significant amount of battery. In addition, he does have the hard tire here, and I'm wondering, as these laps go on, will this race come back to him as he sits in 4th place, as well as C. Rizzy in 5th there.
So we saw the 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings for the Mercedes driver, Rafa there, down in 10th. So the first of those penalties are out now, only 7 laps in.
That's correct. I'm curious to see if we'll see any more of those. I wonder if any drivers currently are on 2 warnings, as normally when you get 3 track limit violations is when you get 3-second penalty. So we'll see if any drivers have chosen to drive a little bit more cautiously and maybe reduce their pace a little bit to prevent themselves from getting a 3-second penalty.
Grimsley makes his move back to second, but JMB peeks to the inside. Looks like he's going to think better of it, stays back in third. But like you said, Godzilla is closing in on that battle for second.
Yes, which is interesting, as we did see early in the race that he had fallen out of DRS. We are seeing him start to come back at these medium tire runners. Additionally, out in front, we are seeing KD start to kind of pull away with the race.
That Williams driver over 3 seconds out in front, just dominating this early part of the round 1 here.
Yeah, and since I did say that, he's already pulled out 0.3 seconds, so he is pulling out significant chunks of time per lap and even per corner at this point.
Drivers trying to establish their names here early on in the season, and KD is doing a great job of that as we go on to the front stretch. Looking at the second place battle, look at JMB making a move back down to the inside, and he will get it done way before the corner.
And just as you said, it looks like we have another swap for second place there. And it looks like we have Remsley following closely. And every lap for lap, we have that swap for second place, with Godzilla now within half a second of Remsley. I wonder how this battle will play out, as we do have 3rd and 4th with Remsley and Godzilla on the same team. Do we see a little bit of, and Godzilla and Remsley have swapped positions. I wonder if that was a little bit of team orders there.
So Godzilla up to 3rd. They were beating banging back there for 5th. The Alfa Romeo, Rizzy there, and Segrist. Looks like they settled their discrepancies there, and Rizzy's up to 5th. Segrist back to 6th. But wow, Godzilla back up to 3rd, and now he looks to run down the Red Bull driver of JMB.
What I'm curious to see here will Godzilla not only be able to pass JMB, but will he be able to break GMB's DRS? Will he be able to pull a second gap on JMB when he makes the pass? That will be critical. And on this lap, he was not able to make the pass.
So he is within that second gap now. He did gain about 4 tenths there, but not close enough to make a turn or make the pass there in the first turn. He will look to make that pass the next time around. Rimsley slots back to 4th. And back behind 7th place, you have to go almost 3 seconds back to find Rockstar back there in 8th.
Yeah, and it looks like from JMB on down to P7, we are seeing a little bit of a DRS train form. Although I will say, since Remsley and Godzilla did swap positions, it looks like Godzilla is having a little bit of difficulty keeping within that 1 second gap to JMB.
We go on board with Godzilla here. Very aggressive on the corners there as we go out of the final turn here. Let's see if he is within that second. He was. So he should get DRS. We'll see if he gets close enough here. Does not look like it.
Godzilla is getting close, but it doesn't look to me like he's getting as close as his teammate Remsley was to passing J&B. If there were team orders involved as far as swapping the Alpines, in my opinion, it's only a matter of laps before they swap back, because Godzilla just doesn't have the same pace that Remsley had.
Segrist back in 6th. He got the 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, so pushing the limits a little bit too much there. And one thing to notice there is, oh, and around the Segrist machine, as we were just talking about it in the McLaren, he's around, and I'm not sure if he had help with that, but he gets it back going, and he will drop spots. He will drop out of the top 10.
I think there might have been potential contact there between Segrist and C. Rizzi, as I did see a potential pass. I'm unsure what happened, though, as I saw them swapping places between Segrist and C. Rizzi, and then I saw that he had dropped places, so I'm unsure as to what exactly happened. Although now C. Rizzi has dropped out of DRS behind Remsley, so this could be potentially problematic as Ben Swerven makes an easy pass on C. Rizzi using the DRS on the main straight.
Segrist did have to go down to the pit lane, so that will just hurt his race even more. And in just a matter of lap, he was P6 and now has dropped all the way to 14th.
And that is unfortunate for Segrist and potentially race ruining contact there.
Oh no, what happened to Godzilla? He is around. Oh my goodness, he is down to 8th.
Unknown, although at one point he was ahead of JNB. Additionally, not only has Godzilla fallen back, but Remsley has also fallen back behind Ben Swerven and C. Rizzi.
What in the world happened to the Alpine drivers? Oh man, so they have dropped to 5th and 8th respectively. We'll see if there was a lot of damage if they have to come down and pit. But, oof. Doesn't look like Remsley has to go down. Godzilla, though, he was around for much longer of a time, but he has stayed out on track. It doesn't look like there was much damage there, so lucky on that.
As we see Remsley try to attempt.
And now Rafa jumps in front of Godzilla, so he's up to 8th, right behind his teammate of Raiden there.
And it is nice to see the two Mercedes drivers able to link up on track, although Rafa does have that 3-second time penalty there.
Now some more issues back there. I think that was Raiden. He went off track and he has now dropped behind his teammate and Godzilla, so he's back to 9th.
Now Godzilla does look like he is able to claw his way back up on track, so there is the potential for a recovery drive here, potentially has not suffered any damage because it looks like he still does have pace, but it does raise the question as far as what happened to him to cause him to lose those positions to begin with.
So as he slots his way back in, Rimsley's going to come down the pits from 5th. Looks like maybe the damage was just too much, or could it be an early strategy call here?
I think that this strategy call here by pitting 1 lap early has the potential for Remsley to undercut a significant amount of people here, being that the DRS train was so close, and we could see him jump a few cars here with this move. I think this is a great call.
Possibly turning misfortunes back into his way, being able to drive his way back up to the front.
Absolutely, and if I was JNB here, I think that I would be definitely worried as far as this early pit call. I think I would be coming in if I was JNB, Ben Swervin, or C. Rizzy. Now, the other option that the drivers that are out currently have is to stay out longer and potentially switch onto the soft tire closer to the end. Remsley choosing to switch onto the hard tire. He does have this undercut potential here. Now, he would be in danger if some of these drivers who are out currently choose to stay out and then swap onto the soft later in the race, as they would be much faster than him later in the race, although they would have to make that pass on track. So that is the option that they have.
JMB.
And Tom, yes.
JB does have the DRS there. He gets around on the outside, and it looks like Rizzy's going to try to make a move as well. But he does not get it as he goes through turn 1.
And Tom, yes, I do agree with you. Camden does definitely have untapped potential switching to the wheel. I was unaware that he had swapped to the wheel.
Just got that wheel recently. I think it was within like the last couple of weeks. He's up to 12th right now. Looks like he's just running a steady race there. Not many haven't really talked about him, but that could be a good thing in his own right.
Yeah, definitely so, and it looks like he is almost within a second of Remsley there, maybe slowly falling back from Remsley, but the drivers behind him all have penalties, so if he is able to drive a clean race here, the potential for maybe a decent result.
And wow, have we been talking about all these other incidents as we watch Swervin go down to the pits, and it looked like Rockstar as well, so 3rd and 5th respectively have come down to the pits. Looks like they're taking their strategy call here, but KD has increased his lead to almost 7.5 seconds so far.
Yeah, and KD is running away with this race.
As we look at the drivers that just pit, Swervin goes on the hards, Rockstar with the mediums. That was the fastest lap of the race there. Rimsley back in 8th. So now it is a matter of time before we see JMB and Rizzy, and we'll also see KD probably come down. But JMB, 15 laps on those medium tires.
Yeah, that is a significant amount of time on the medium tire there. I'm wondering how many laps he's going to choose to. And as we see him decide to come into the pits now, I'll be curious to see what tire he decides to come out on with 12 laps to go on the race. I mean, the potential is there for JMB to decide to go on the soft, as he does decide to come out on the soft tire. That is a good call, in my opinion, here, as he will be significantly faster than the drivers who decided to come out on the hard. At least initially, there is a potential that he will have tires that die off towards the end there, as El Capitan as well does decide to come out on the soft, being that they are teammates. Maybe this is a coordinated effort by both drivers there.
So interesting strategy calls there, and now it is the first 4 cars basically that have stayed out this long. Almost a little bit of contact there for 4th, Raikkonen and Remsley. Remsley on the new hards versus the 16-lap older tires for Raikkonen, and right in front of them is Giggle.
Oh, and a little bit of contact there between Raikkonen and Giggle, and it looks like Giggle spin, and Giggle is ghosted. That's unfortunate contact there between Raikkonen and Giggle. It was interesting that Raikkonen was fighting the drivers behind. I mean, he has every right to fight those drivers behind because he is not a blue flag driver, although being that he is on a totally different strategy with 16-lap-old hards, you would expect that he wouldn't have fought them so hard. So that was an interesting development there.
Giggle made more contact back there. I think that was J&B. He was trying to get around, or J&B was trying to get around him, but he went around once again, so he has dropped all the way back down to 10th.
As we see Segrist and Rafa go wheel to wheel. Excuse me, that was Ben Swervin and Rockstar 2 Wanker going wheel to wheel, and there's contact between Ben Swervin and Rockstar 2 Wanker. There's a caution in Sector 1 as we see them have contact, and it looks like Rockstar 2 Wanker lost control of the vehicle.
The new tires, he has lost control. Drops back to 5th is Rockstar, and he almost makes contact again. See, Rizzy runs up onto him, and now they're 3 wide. Segrist to the middle.
And we see Segrist and C. Rizzy getting close to each other as well. Coming into turn 10, turn 11.
It looked like they sorted it out. 3-second time penalty.
And we are going 3 wide with Carson coming into 13 and 14.
These guys have all just bunched themselves up, and looks like Giggle and
as we see Carson coming into the pits.
Yeah. Do we have contact there?
Yeah. I wonder if Carson is going to opt for the softs here, and we have Giggle coming into the pits as well, so these are the last 2 drivers to pit.
Looks like Giggle goes softs.
Giggles goes softs.
I see softs out.
Carson's as well.
Yep. And while this all was going through, KD also went onto the soft tire compound, and he is now about 2.5 seconds out in front of Remsley.
It's interesting that the gap between KD and Remsley did come down a bit. I don't recall what it got up to at its highest point, but I do remember it above 3.5 seconds at one point. Although with KD on the soft, I do expect that to increase quite a bit.
For sure, as we look back to 4th, Swervin and Rizzy battling here. They're very close. Rizzy running all over the back of Swervin. He looks to the inside as they head into the final turn. He looks like he stays back. KD runs the fastest lap there as they come onto the front stretch. DRS enabled for Rizzy.
And it looks like that's going to be an easy pass for C. Rizzy coming into turn 1. And it looks like Ben Swervin didn't want to fight that too hard, as Ben Swervin there is on 14% ERS at this point of the race. Maybe he's deciding to save for a little bit later in the race.
It looks like a lot of these guys. KD down to 11%. Rimsley's 22, JMB 17, 18%. So a lot of these guys have been using that battery up.
Yeah, with a lot of these battles, it seems like they're opting to use as much as they can to gain these positions, and maybe they are all out.
Caution, Sector 1, Sector 2. Who is that? That looks like Raiden there. He's around in the Mercedes.
Yep, unfortunately, it looks like Raiden there did lose control, and he's gotten going. Doesn't look like he suffered any damage there, luckily. Looks like we're having a little battle here between Godzilla and Rockstar, as they are within half a second of each other.
As they sort themselves out 8th and 9th there. It's just been constant battles back here in the mid-pack. And we look at Segrist. 6th place on track now. We know he has the 3-second time penalty, but so does Rafa. So this is technically on plane here. Rafa all over the back as they head into turn 1.
Seegers there with the 9-lap-old hards and Rafa with the 6-lap-old mediums. Looks like Rafa is able to stay with him as we go through these turns here at the Losail circuit, which are very, very taxing on the front of the vehicle. We see a lot of front tire wear around here. Looks like we are seeing a lot of penalties already. With a lot of the drivers. No one on 6 seconds yet, but we see Ben Swerve, Segrist, Rafa, Raiden, You Having a Giggle, and Carson all on 3 seconds.
We go back up to the front, and KD has extended that lead. It's up to 6 seconds. So we hit 8 to go here. It looks like the Williams drivers just took this race and dominated every single second, basically, of it.
If we go down to P15 and P14, looks like we have a little battle occurring with You Having a Giggle and Carson going wheel to wheel through 12, 13, and 14. The potential little battle continuing on to the main straight here.
Giggle's gonna have the DRS enabled here. He is within the second threshold of Carson. Go on board with him in the Ferrari. He gets by him with ease as we go up to 3rd. And look at JMB and Rizzy. They're close here for 3rd.
JMB is being followed extremely closely by Rizzy on the 4-lap-old mediums here, within 3/10. As they come here into turn 6. As they come here into turn 14. See Rizzy fakes the inside. Here they come here to the last corner. Come up to the DRS line. DRS is active. And it looks like we're going to have an easy pass. DRS activated. Both drivers are flashing, meaning that their ERS is probably depleted as we have the pass into turn 1.
Another 3-second time penalty. This time it is Camden Luca down in 13th place. So he has extended the track too many times. He's had too many warnings, so he gets a penalty.
And that is unfortunate, although all the drivers around him have a 3-second penalty as well, so it may even out coming into the finale.
JMB drops back. We go back to 6th. Within 3/10 of a second, that is Segrist behind Rafa. Rafa on the 8-lap old mediums, and then the 11-lap old hard tire for Segrist.
I must say, for a track that is traditionally known for difficulty of overtaking, we've had some great battles tonight, and we've had some fairly easy overtakes on the main straight.
For sure. No,
As C.
no.
Rizzy, excuse me, sorry.
Oh, yeah, C. Rizzy. Oh, man. 3-second time penalty there for him, as he is in third place. So now this battle on track basically does not matter unless JMB gets a 3-second time penalty.
Exactly, and I wonder if that'll change how C. Rizzy fights this battle, knowing that he has a 3-second time penalty. Will he fight JMB as hard, knowing that no matter what he does, he pretty much cannot win this? As we see a caution coming into Sector 3, and we do have a spinner.
Looks like that is Raiden in the Mercedes. He gets it back going, and it's just not been his day so far for the Mercedes drivers.
No, it has not, as we see him down in 15th, what started off as a potentially promising day. As he spins again, could his tires be going off at this point? He has 8-lap-old mediums, but could they potentially be overheated?
Tries to get it back, and oh no, he's into the sand. And his day has just gone even worse now.
Yeah, his day has gone from bad to worse.
3-second time penalty there, Rafa. 6th place, caution sector 1, that is for Raiden there. He is back onto track, and he is just fighting to lose a battle, it looks like.
As his tires go off again. Raiden is really struggling with the rear of his vehicle as he gets it going again. The rear of his vehicle wants to let go. I wonder if his vehicle has some damage here as he picks up another time penalty. He currently is sitting on 6 seconds.
He lets Pilot go by, which might be a smart decision as he goes back off track again.
Yeah. At this point, I wonder if it would just be a smarter idea to bring it to the pits.
We hope that does not bring out a safety car here as he gets a 10-second time penalty this time.
For exceeded track limits. That is unfortunate, as Raiden's day is pretty much over by all standards at this point. It's unfortunate for Raiden to suffer that type of end.
And who passed him was KD in the Williams, and he has not had much of any issue so far today. He comes across the line, it'll be lap 26 of 29.
No, you could say KD has almost had a Max Verstappen type of day. Just out in front, as Raiden gets another 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so let's just add that to the list at this point.
Man, tough to see there. We will see. He looks like, yeah, he is called her to quits. He is DNF from the race. We're battling for third, JMB. Third on track, I should say. Giggle gets a 3-second time penalty. I think he already had one. Caution sector 1.
Yeah, he did.
Who is that? Doesn't look like it might be just Raiden there. He came off the pits, I believe. But he's DNF'd. Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
We go back to 5th place. Swervin, then Rafa, and then Segrist. They all have 3-second time penalties, so this is a legitimate battle, and it looks like Rafa's in the middle of a McLaren sandwich right here.
Yes, he is, and they're all within a couple tenths of each other. About 4 tenths apiece. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, although Rafa does have that 6-second time penalty, so it seems like if they finish in this order, he will be dropped. Up a little bit further ahead, there still is the pairing of C. Rizzy and JMB, as C. Rizzy does try to go for the move, and into turn 1 he does complete it, although he does have that 3-second time penalty, so unless he can pull a gap, it looks like JMB will finish ahead of him.
You have to think the soft tire for JMB may be starting to wear out a little bit, so Rizzi still has a lot to fight for. He could pull a big gap, a 3-second gap that he needs to continue to stay in third place at the end that race ends here.
Oh yeah, you're definitely correct about that, considering JMB does have those 10-lap old softs there, as we do see a caution come out in sector 2 for the McLaren. McLaren of Ben Swerven. It looks like he had a spin there. Unfortunately, he drops down to P8.
Tough to see there for him as he was racing with his teammate and Rafa there in the Mercedes. They get that all squared away. Looks like swerving back out in, yeah, like you said, 8th place. So we have to see what happens for him the last couple laps as we get down, as we are now 2 laps to go in the race.
Yeah, it looks like that McLaren sandwich didn't work out. And it's interesting to see the field spread, as earlier in the race we did see everybody kind of in that DRS train. I wonder if we're seeing this field spread due to everybody running out of battery, as we are seeing a lot of people on minimal battery towards the end of the race here, with even the front runners on 14, 13, 12, and 14%.
So as they head towards the final couple turns here, as we get ready for the final lap of round 1, KD now out in front by basically 9 seconds. He comes onto the front stretch. 1 lap to go here in round 1 at Qatar.
KD almost in another league, pulling out a 9-second gap. Really been a lonely race for him with how much time he's pulled out. Very comfortable race. Remsley as well, almost in another league with a 9-second gap on C. Rizzi. So great race from him. As we see a caution out of sector 1.
Looks like that was Rafa there. He was battling with Segrist. He spun it around, I believe, but he is P6 now as Godzilla's going to pass him. Godzilla does not have a penalty here, and he's within 4 seconds, so could he get within that 3-second time of Segrist there? But we get towards the front, and KD almost home free here.
Yeah, and Godzilla's got 20% ERS left, so he's got to get 1.5 seconds here on J&B. He's it looks like he's got it. He's within 2 seconds now, so he's made up a significant chunk of time here. How he did it, I'm not sure.
And coming off the final turn, KD swerving his way. He is going to win round 1 for season 16's golden class here at Qatar.
That was a real masterclass there by KD. He really showed how to manage a race there and put on a show.
Remsley is going to coast across the line. He'll finish 2nd. Rizzi 3rd. We'll have to see the whole time penalty situation here. Segrist comes across 4th. Godzilla 5th, but he might jump up to 4th. He does. Godzilla to 4th.
He does.
JMB.
How did Godzilla pass JMB and Segrist on the final lap like that?
That is true. Whoa.
He was sitting P6.
7th goes to Raikkonen. 8th, Rockstar. Capitan 9th. Rounding out your top 10 will be, we'll have to see. Believe, oh, it will be Camden. Camden Luca. Camden gets that final point there in 10th place. Carson goes 11th. Rafa goes down to 13th. Giggle gets 12th. And, oh no, well, Swerven goes to 13th. Rafa 14th and Pilot 15th.
It's nice to see Camden there get P10, get points on the gold debut. So that is a positive start to the season, I'd say.
And what a race that was. We will get the podium drivers in here for a post-race interview. But what a day. Driver of the day goes to Remsley in the Alpine. And what a day it was here. KD by basically 14 seconds. He wins round 1 in the Williams. Remsley finishes second, and then Rizzy in the Alfa Romeo, he will finish third.
And what amazing race pace! If you just look at the best race lap set there by KD, almost 3/10 ahead of his closest competitor there. And if you look back to see Rizzy there in third, he's almost pulled out 7/10 on the best race lap that C. Rizzy had set there. So very impressive stuff there by KD. And then not only getting the win there, but also getting the fastest lap on top of that. Very impressive.
Turns out, I believe J&B in the Red Bull ran out of fuel on that last lap, so he goes down to 6th.
Wow. Do you remember what position he was in prior to running out of fuel?
I believe he was in 3rd or 4th, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was way up. So that's what happened. That's why Godzilla. I bet Segrist and J&B ran out of fuel. That's probably why Godzilla was able to get 4th.
So a crazy turn of events. That's why you cannot can't unturn your attention away from the race there. As you see, last lap there, the crazy turn of events. A couple guys losing positions as we get the podium drivers in here. We'll get an interview from these guys, get their thoughts after the race here from round 1.